Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another video here at Euphoric Sports. Today, we're going to be talking about the NBA and if the Lakers will make the playoffs. So, what do you think?
Most definitely will not make the playoffs, and I'm here to tell you why, Eminal. All right. They have no chemistry. I'm just looking at these guys like they're running around like headless chickens on the court there. They have no their transition defense is suffering. All right. LeBron doesn't know what to do. He can't carry all these little kids to a playoffs. All right. It just I don't know what's happening. All right. Just I don't know, man.
Well, when you say chemistry, when the Lakers won their first championship, wasn't that team built like they traded most of the pieces from last season for Anthony Davis, signed a whole bunch of role players, put it down and put it on the team, and they won the championship first year in. So, does chemistry really matter?
It does because this isn't the same roster that won that championship in the Mickey Mouse bubble. All right. This is a roster that's just always injured, not playing together, heavy on turnovers. I mean, as we can see, one of the main pieces, Westbrook, he's averaging 4.6 turnovers a game. I mean, that's horrendous. I mean, you can't win a championship averaging almost 5 turnovers a game just from one player. All right. That's not including the rest of the team. Don't even get me started on his playing style, but you could continue. I see you have something to say.
Well, Westbrook last game had zero turnovers.
Let's
First
see if that's
time,
going to happen again, man.
first time in hundreds of games. All right. So maybe this is a step to the right directions with Russell Westbrook not turnovering the ball. And what you could say there is that he didn't have many assists, but he is playing safer basketball, and this caused them to win. And now the offense is flowing through LeBron James, and Russell Westbrook is just doing what he needs to do, and that is rebound the ball and score points in the paint. Don't shoot as much and play defense. And that's all the Lakers want him to do, not be the playmaker, because they do have LeBron James, and the team will be even better when Anthony Davis comes back from injury.
That's a big if right there because he seems like every time he comes back from injury, he just gets injured again. So I mean, the guy's been on and off the court for the past few months. It's obviously not helping this Lakers team at all. I mean, it's just hard to see him coming back and staying there for a while and then building a good winning culture there. They've been losing to bad teams. I mean, just a couple of notable bad losses were a few weeks ago at home against the Spurs, and that was a blowout. Another one I can think of is when they lost to OKC. I know that was earlier in the season, but that was still a bad loss to an OKC team that's just one of the worst teams in the league. I mean, they've got no one else on there besides Shy that I can really think of that can score the ball. Um, the other day, I can think of the game against the Rockets. They barely won, and they needed a triple double from Westbrook and LeBron to barely beat the Rockets, which are also one of the worst teams in the league. So I mean, you're not going to get by good teams in the playoffs when you're scraping by teams on the bottom of the West and Eastern Conference.
Isn't the argument though if they'll make the playoffs? So
Yeah,
right
exactly. That's
here,
why they won't.
but aren't you talking about? Didn't you just say right now that this won't work in the playoffs?
Well, they're not going to make it there, so that's why I'm saying it won't work there because they're not going there.
But let's say Anthony Davis is out for like maybe 2 more weeks, right? 2, 3 more weeks. And LeBron James looks like he's got it right now. He is in form. Russell Westbrook has figured out his role a little bit. Team is getting healthier. You got guys like Malik Monk. He's a baller. Horton Tucker, absolute baller. And and
Talking
then
about the wrong guy, man.
he did score like he had
I
a
don't
time
know.
where he
I
was
don't know
scoring
what balls he can
25
handle because he
points
can't
back
handle a
to back.
basketball, man.
He scored 25 points back to back games, just saying. So
It's
you
gonna happen again.
can't really mess with the guy there. But this Los Angeles Lakers team will make the playoffs. LeBron James has only not made the playoffs like one time in the last 10 years. So and that was because he was hurt. LeBron James
Be two
plays the
after
rest
this
of the
year.
year. Hmm?
It's gonna be two pretty soon, man.
Nah, if LeBron James plays the rest of the year, and I think he will, they will make the playoffs no matter what, and could even have a deep run if Anthony Davis manages to stay healthy and Russell Westbrook doesn't turn over the ball. Because that's the only thing that the Lakers have as a weakness, health issues and Russell Westbrook.
And yeah, going back to Westbrook, that was the first game that he didn't have a turnover playing over 30 minutes since 2013. So I mean that just shows you how careless he is with the ball. Just because he had one game with zero turnovers doesn't mean he's gonna go back to just not turning the ball over because that's what he's been known for his whole career. His rookie year, he led the league in turnovers. and he's still one of the league leaders in turnovers today, if not the leader in turnovers in the league this season. Um, I think the Lakers should actually trade Westbrook. To be honest, they can get a good point guard for him. That's not as careless with the ball. That's a little younger because he relies on his athleticism too much, and sometimes it doesn't get the job done for him. Going up the court, he just makes bad decisions. Sometimes he just takes shots that he shouldn't. And then that also leads me into the next point, which are the role players. The role players just aren't doing their job this season. They're also in the on the injury list as well. You look at guys like Kendrick Nunn, who's been out for a little while. That's it's coming. Hopefully, he'll be back soon. You also look at guys like Avery Bradley, who recently just went on the list. I believe yesterday or the day before. So you look at those guys as well. Wayne Ellington, just guys that aren't playing up to par. Older guys, Melo or Riza, guys
Yo,
like
you can't say
just
Melo's been bad.
he hasn't been bad, but he's obviously not who he used to be, and they're just older role
What
players
the? He's like 38,
that
bro.
I don't
Like,
think will get the job done to get them into the playing tournament. So just yeah, I mean that's where it's at with that. I think that those losses really showed the vulnerabilities of the Lakers, and LeBron's just getting older. I mean he's still doing his thing, but there's only so much that he can carry on his back, and then it's a long season, so we're back to having a full season this year, and just all the power in the Western Conference. I just don't see them making the playoffs.
all right, so this year, 10 teams are making the playoffs, right? So you're trying to tell me the San Antonio Spurs, who are 6 games behind the Lakers, they're 14 and 22, will go on a run, and the Lakers are going on a losing streak, and the Lakers will drop from like the 7th seed all the way to the 11th seed by the end of the season. That's what you're saying.
It's possible. I mean, we saw them be below 500 with a pretty easy schedule. I mean, they've got 4 Hall of Famers on the roster and three on the court without so they've got quite a bit of star power. I mean, even without AD, they've still got some firepower on the court as well. So I mean, it's just
That's
hard to see them
blasphemy.
turning it around for the rest of the season and
Who's the Hall
staying
of
like that.
Famer?
We've got Westbrook, LeBron, AD, and I'd probably have to say Melo.
All
Those are the
right, so
Hall
I'm
of
gonna tell
Famers
you
I see in
this,
the
bro.
Lakers.
Melo and Westbrook. You're gonna
They
say
are Hall of Famers. They are Hall
they're
of Famers.
Hall of Famers, but dude, like, what? So,
I
so,
mean, you just
so
told me he wasn't that bad.
they're way out of their primes, though, bro. Like,
I
Melo's
wouldn't say
averaging
Westbrook's
13.
out of his prime. He's probably on the tail end of his prime.
Who?
Westbrook. He's towards the end of his prime. He's
So
not
you,
out of his prime.
so he's not out of his prime.
No, he's probably on the tail end. He's almost out, but he's still in his prime.
Dude, Westbrook in his prime.
Probably another year or two and he's out.
What? The dude Westbrook is like 32, 33, 34, around there. I don't know
He's
exactly.
still putting up numbers though. He's still putting up numbers.
And Melo's in like the end of his 30s. He's not in the young side of his 30s like Westbrook. He is in the end.
Yeah, he's out of his prime. Yeah, we know that.
And you're trying to tell me they have 4 Hall of Famers and it should be performed like what?
I
And then
mean, do
LeBron,
they not have 4 Hall of Famers on the roster or no?
are they in the Hall of Fame right now?
They're future Hall of Famers, man. You can't argue that none of them are not going to be in the Hall of Fame.
And then Anthony Davis, there's still an argument to be made. I mean, you've seen players. I
I
mean, the
think
NBA
Pelicans
Hall of
is
Fame is
in
a
it.
lot easier.
He'll make it.
He will, but he's not for sure. I mean, if he retired right now, I don't think he makes the Hall of Fame, unlike the other 3. But you shouldn't be saying, "Oh, bro, they got 3 Hall of Famers." Like one day I hear it's a whole bunch of geezers. You can't expect much, and the next thing I'm hearing, these are Hall of Famers, man.
They
So,
are old, but they are Hall of Famers. That's the truth.
but they're
But
a bunch of geezers.
yeah, they are. But yeah, just I don't think it will happen, man. Like especially you see the loss against the Clippers. I mean, Kawhi and Ibaka they even play. And we got Paul George and Reggie Jackson as our main scoring options on offense, and
Where's Paul George?
we just got it done. And right now he's injured, so we'll see what happens with the Clippers. But we're talking about the Lakers here, and I just came here to tell you, and I just presented all the information in front of you that the Lakers,
So what have
fortunately,
you seen from San Antonio that makes you believe that they have what it takes to out?
it's not more of what I see in San Antonio. It's more of what I didn't see with the Lakers. I didn't see chemistry. All right. I didn't see urgency. I didn't see being careful with the ball. I just saw careless basketball that just led to a lot of just dumb losses that they games that they should have won, especially the game that they won 3 OTs with the Kings in LA. They should have won that game. You also obviously saw that they won 3 OTs and they just couldn't close out, and that was with their stars on the court as well. So I mean, you just look at games like that, and it just makes you, think twice about the Lakers, if they're going to be able to, keep this up for the rest of the season. I think they won't. I mean, you think Spurs are doing this with guys like Dejounte Murray, if that, so like they don't have much power, star power as well, but they're still getting it done. And I mean, 6 games behind is not much for the amount of games that there are left. And the Western Conference is, this season is pretty well balanced, especially with injuries and like the Warriors being back. So I mean, you don't know what could happen in the Western Conference till then because there's a lot of teams that can contend with a healthy roster.
Well, I'm gonna just end it off with San Antonio doesn't have a single player better than LeBron and AD and possibly Westbrook. I mean, Deontay Murray could be better than Westbrook. I think there's an argument there, but it is absurd to say that the Lakers will not make the playoffs. I think there's an argument to be said that they won't make it out of the play-in tournament. They will make the play-in tournament at least, but I think, in my opinion, they'll make a top 6 seed, not letting them play in the play-in tournament. Now, in the playoffs, I can't tell you what they'll do because I don't know what their health status will be and who will be on the roster because trade deadline, you never know. They could trade Westbrook or another guy for some pieces. But you're wrong. Your opinion is not respected.
No, I'm right.
But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe in the description. Follow the socials, watch the TikToks and all that. And yeah, see you till the next time.